So back in the day, in order for a shoe to have a nickname, the player had to earn the nickname for the shoe. Let me explain what that means. So there's a shoe, the Air Jordan 3. Michael Jordan wore those in the dunk contest, and he won the dunk contest, but nobody called them the Air Jordan 3 dunk contest. Or maybe the Air Jordan 1. It got a nickname. They called the black and red color the bread, but that name was brought on by the community. It wasn't given to the shoe by the brand, and that's something that, that's something that happens a lot these days. These shoes, these don't even matter. I just brought them up here just because I needed something to carry into the frame to make this seem a bit more dramatic. But the shoe that I'm going to talk about today, the shoe that I'm going to unbox, it has a nickname, and I think the player actually earned the nickname for the shoes, which is not something that happens very often these days. A lot of times you'll get a shoe and the brand will call it such and such, but the player hasn't done anything in that shoe to make it have that name, if that makes any sense. Let me put this all together. So there's one shoe that I remember more than anything else that really helps to prove this point. This shoe right here. So this is, well, these, I should say, these are the Air Jordan 12. Now, why is this shoe important? Now, to most people, they see this shoe and they go, oh, that's a cool Jordan. Or if you are a bit of a sneakerhead, you might say, hey, that's a cool Air Jordan 12. And you got that far. But for a very select group, for very few people that are ingrained and knowledgeable about the sneaker culture, this shoe represents a lot more than that. This shoe to them is called the Air Jordan 12 flu game. Now, did Michael Jordan have the actual flu during this game? That is something for an entirely different video. We're not going to discuss that here today, but this shoe is called the Air Jordan 12 flu game, and Michael Jordan, playing with the flu or food poison, as many people say, he gave this shoe this nickname. Before that game, this shoe didn't have a nickname. It was just a black and red Air Jordan 12. But after that moment, after Michael Jordan performed admirably, I guess if that's a word I want to use here, this shoe got a nickname, the flu game. And now whenever anyone sees this shoe that's a sneakerhead, they know that this is the Air Jordan 12 flu game. Not many shoes have that sort of story or have that sort of history behind them, but a lot of them have nicknames. So what does that have to do with this video today? There's a new shoe that has, I would say, earned its nickname, and that shoe is the shoe that we're going to unbox today. I don't necessarily agree with brands giving shoes nicknames. A lot of shoes have nicknames that don't really have any relevance to the culture or relevance to the sport. Take, for instance, Fruity Pebbles. There's a LeBron Fruity Pebbles. It's cool that the shoe is inspired by that, but there's no attachment to that. We don't see the player performing or doing something insane or overcoming some obstacle to give the shoe a story that's going to last beyond just the nickname. But the shoe that I'm going to show you today, I think it has that. So let's take a look. I'll stop all this talking. And yeah, I think this shoe has earned its nickname. Earned, not given. Hold on, guys. Gotta find the shoe I was talking about. Gotta be here. Pink. Silver. Down. There you go. There we go. All right. Okay, so if you know anything about Nike and what Nike has been doing the last couple of, I would say, months maybe, they have a collection called the 16. Now, the 16 represents the 16 games that are required in order to win an NBA championship. Now, what Nike is doing is highlighting moments from their players, Nike basketball players, that had these big moments during the playoff series. And one of the shoes that really resonated with me and I feel like really helped to earn its nickname is the LeBron Soldier 1. Now, this video isn't about whether LeBron is the greatest player playing the game. That's not what I'm here for at all. What I'm here to talk about is this particular shoe and how I feel like this shoe earned its nickname, which is, well, just hold on for that. I'll give you that in just a second when I explain a little bit of history about the shoe. But so let's take the shoes out. As you see, the box has the 16 there for the 16 games. Has a card here. I'll read that in just a second. But then we have the shoes, which I feel look really fantastic. Just a really great looking basketball shoe. Now, the LeBron Soldier 1, as most of you know, is a takedown version of the LeBron signature line. So this wasn't the actual signature shoe. This was the takedown version of the shoe, if that makes any sense at all. Anyway, all right, so let's take a look at the card. 16, the number of playoff wins, which I just talked to you guys about, standing between every player today and their ultimate goal of becoming a champion. Just as every champion that came before them, achieving the game's highest honor requires becoming obsessive over a finite number of wins. Blah, 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 blah. The Champion Think 16 collection honors the collective mentality shared by the game's greatest competitors, the moments synonymous with their greatness, and the pivotal role Nike Inc. played in cementing each champion's proven place in history. Now, I would love now to go back if this shoe was a part of that collection, but it's not, so let's get that out of here. What we're talking about today is the LeBron Soldier 1. Now, details about the shoe show that the shoe was very well made. The tumbled leather on here looks absolutely amazing, and this color scheme, the white, blue, and the gold, it matched better with the older Cleveland Cavaliers jersey than it does with the jerseys that we see today. But I still think it looks fantastic. I don't think you could rock these with the current jerseys, but it still looks really good. The navy blue looks really great, and the gold obviously pops against it. It has the LeBron Lion logo, which we see sometimes here and there, not as much as we used to. Has the old LeBron L23 with the King Crown logo, which we don't see very often, which I think we should see a lot more because it was a really great logo. That logo pops up again here. And something that you guys see a lot with LeBron now is he writes messages on all of his shoes. You see he does it with a Sharpie. The main one that he's been doing is called his Man in the Arena. But before that, these messages were inscribed in the shoe. Like for this one, it says passion, vision, and win. That's on the left shoe. But then on the right shoe, it says family, and it also says fearless, something that I feel like LeBron still is married to. That sort of messaging today with his shoes. It's still about family, it's still about passion, it's still about the game, about being his best and being the best person that he can. And I think those messages on these shoes help relay that same sort of message. Few details here. Has LRJ here. If you know what LeBron's middle name is, leave it in the comments down below, and don't Google it. I know some of you guys are going to Google it and then write the comment, but if you know it off the top of your head, no cheating. Then we have Velcro straps here, and then we also have a Velcro strap here. This one obviously for the lockdown, to keep your foot locked down, and this one was for the heel. I'm not sure how effective this one was here at the heel. I never played in the Zoom Soldier 1. Just not my sort of thing. Wasn't my kind of shoe. It's a little bigger than I would actually play basketball in, but it is something that I would rock. You see that it has 23 here instead of the traditional lace jewel. They have a plastic piece here with 23, which was LeBron's number for a very long time. But more impressive is the actual tumbled leather on here. The leather that Nike put together on these is really, really nice. I think they did a great job. Now, the reason these shoes are special and the reason these shoes earned their nickname was because back in 2007, LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers were in the playoffs. They were playing the Detroit Pistons, and at the final seconds, or the final quarters of that game, I guess you would call it quarters because it was over the fourth and the 2 overtime, LeBron scored 29 of the Cleveland Cavaliers' 30 points. Now, many of you may say LeBron's doing the same sort of thing now, but remember, this was 10, maybe 11 years ago. So it was a younger LeBron, a LeBron that wasn't as confident in his game, a LeBron that he still had the same amount of pressure because people put a lot of pressure on him back then, but he was doing things like that back then. Now, these shoes, they're not even called 29 out of 30. They're called 25 straight. And the reason they're called 25 straight is because during that span of him scoring the last 29 of the 30 points, he scored 25 straight points in that game, which is huge. That's what I feel like matches up with the flu game. That's why this shoe, I feel like, earned its nickname. But I feel like this shoe has earned its nickname as well. LeBron put together a performance that made this shoe's nickname relevant. It made it so that this shoe's nickname made sense. It's not called the Fruity Pebbles or some other random nickname that has something to do all outside of the basketball court. And again, there's nothing wrong with Fruity Pebbles. If you like that, that's your thing. But for me, it has more impact. It means more to me when there's a moment that I can connect this shoe to. And I feel like the 25 straight is a proper nickname for this shoe. Now, do I have beef with the fact that the brand gave this shoe that name? I'm gonna say a little bit. I'll say, yeah, I prefer for the community, I prefer for us to give a shoe its nickname, but in this situation, I think it actually applies. I think the 25 straight actually applies and is a proper name for a retro of this shoe. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you agree when a brand gives a shoe a nickname, or should the athlete earn the nickname for the shoe by how they play, i.e. the flu game or 25 straight? Anyway, let me know. I don't think these are available anymore. I think these are all sold out. But as always, guys, I just want to say thank you for watching. Definitely appreciate you. Make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe if you like what you see. As always, I appreciate you. I am Jacques Slade. And make sure you stay tuned because I have some really, really cool stuff coming up for you guys. All right, I'll see you soon. Peace.